Okay, so tell me the story. Tell me the story. This is what
Here's the
they said
story.
about. Do we have the Rahm Emanuel didn't happen?
He's saying it didn't happen.
Yeah, no. They said the White House said. You didn't know this?
No, I didn't know.
The White House said that none of this happened. Do we have a soundbite, or is it only a statement? Just a statement that the White House said it didn't happen. There was no naked encounter. There was nothing in the shower.
That is not true.
Were there any witnesses?
I have no idea. I wasn't looking around.
Tell me what happened.
I was in my first 2 months. I was in a battle about the budget. Ron was angry at me. He poked his finger in my chest while I was taking a shower. It's exactly, I've gone through this on the radio show. Not only did it happen, I'll never forget it. Rahm Emanuel hates me. He doesn't like me. I get it. But this is not about him, and frankly, it's not about me. It's about something that's so much bigger than that I learned in just a year. And that is you can either go along to get along, or you can literally be bought and sold legally.
Okay, so why would you abandon a system where you love your country? You served your country.
24 years in uniform. My best friend died in front of me.
Right. You were willing to die for your country.
That's correct.
You're saying now that we have developed a system, and I agree with you.
And it's legal, and I can't change it in Congress. I can't change it as a member of Congress. There's no way
How does it ever change?
possible. I don't know that answer. It literally keeps me awake at night. Glenn, I have had people come to me, union leaders, and I'm a union guy, and I know you're not, who have come to me and say, if you don't support this health care bill, we are not going to contribute to your campaign. Glenn, that's a bribe.
No, it's not.
Well,
that's lobbying money. Look, I agree with you that there's too much money. You tell me you were in Congress.
And that's why I'm telling you, it's legalized. The system is so broken. Congressmen spend between 5 and 7 hours a day on the phone begging for money. And by the way, when you're a freshman, you have to fill out sheets of everybody you called and how much money per hour. And they have coaches that teach you how to get more money from each one of your phone calls and who to call and what data points to have on them to tickle them, to make them more apt to give you money. It is out of control. And it's legalized. And it's not just Democrats, it's the whole schmazole. And it's not just the House, it's the Senate. And by the way, it's the executive branch too, because they have to raise, what, 30 million? Next time it'll be 50 million, $100 million to run for office?
Tell me how the system works. Tell me, because you're alleging, bribery here with unions. That's not bribery. That is legalized bribery.
Well,
I will agree with everything.
Then let me
show me.
I won't. It's legalized bribery.
Okay, so show me something, because you.
And it's not just unions. It's the Chamber of Commerce. It's industry. It's individuals. This is a guy who was a big supporter of mine one time. I was one of your most ardent supporters. By my reckoning, I contributed $625 to your last campaign. However, I'm not helping you. You voted with the Republicans. That means voting when I was one of your ardent supporters, I believed you were a Democrat. That means voting with members of your party on crucial, but you voted with the Republicans. I thought you were a Democrat. So this guy is saying I have to vote exactly as he wants me to vote because he gave me $625. But you don't find that offensive?
Of course I do.
Well,
but I cannot put it together in my head. You believe these things. You're trying to convince me you believe these things.
Yep, and I can't change
you
it
realize,
as a member of Congress.
Bull crap.
I can't, especially...
Bull crap,
no,
sir.
It's not
Listen
bull
to
crap.
me.
Here's why.
Do you realize what some of us are doing? We're not in elected office. Do you realize my family is at stake? Do you realize... Excuse me, sir.
So is mine.
Excuse me for a second, sir. My family is at stake. You've got a little scandal with your children in college. I've got one for all time now, because I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to back down. I have come to a place to where I believe at some point the system will destroy me. That's okay, because I'm going to do what I can to pass on a better America for tomorrow. So I don't understand the white flag. It doesn't make sense to me.
For 30 years I've been doing it. I can't fight this. I can't fight cancer. I can't fight the White House. I can't fight the Democratic Party. I can't fight the Republicans. I can't fight anymore. I don't have it anymore. I don't have the life energy to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work until midnight spend 5 hours on the phone begging money. I have completely abandoned my family for 5 years.
Okay. Then when we come back,
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
okay, then when we come back, make a difference for the next half hour.
All right.
Tell America, name names. Tell America what you know that we don't know. What do you know that we need to know? Back in just a second. With former Congressman from New York, Eric Massa. This is an interview that nobody really wanted to happen. I got a lot of heat for it. He got a lot of heat for it. We disagree on just about everything. When it comes to his character, you're going to have to decide. He's going to have to decide. And right now, we've got these accusations. Let's see what happens. He claims nothing happened. It's up for you to decide. I guess if we're going to try this in the court of public opinion, which I think is un-American, but the other part of it is corruption. Do you believe what he says about corruption, that the system is broke, et cetera, et cetera? If he says, if it's true what he claims about Rahm Emanuel, what was it, Joe? 4 different charges Rahm Emanuel could be brought up on? I think I talked to the judge before we went on the air. There are 4 different criminal charges that he could be brought up on. He told us, if you just joined us a minute ago, that I'm tired. I've fought for 30 years. I can't fight it anymore. He has cancer. He's moving on. So I said, that's fine. There are others that are wanting to fight. Tell us what you know. Make a difference now. Pick up a shovel and show us where to throw the dirt.
So the most important thing that people can do is to get involved. I mean, it's that simple.
No.
And vote.
You are in. No.
So, okay, go ahead.
Please don't be a commercial.
All right.
Everybody knows that.
All right.
People, you're in. You claim that the system is corrupt. I agree with you.
Demand that we do one thing in Congress, and that's change campaign finance reform, because nothing else matters until we do that. Until we do that, nothing will change. I don't know. That to me is the number one issue facing America today. It really is. We won't change jobs. We won't change anything until that is changed. You called it legal. I have been stunned by how it's set up.
I just talked to you in the break, and I just said to you, does anybody in Washington understand our financial situation?
No.
Okay. You believe it's unbelievably bad?
Yes, worse than that.
Yeah, okay. So now, with what you're saying to me, this is the image that I got in my head. As you're saying, we've got to change campaign finance reform or nothing will change. Here's the image that's in my head.
All right.
The World Trade Center is on fire. You're a fireman coming out. And I'm standing there and say, what do I do? And you say to me, you've got to get better 911 service in the helmets of our firefighters. The building's going to come down before we can do that. What? Help me. You've been in the building.
Yes, I have.
You're there. What's happening? Tell me something about the unions and how the unions are working, or I don't care.
So
any kind of corruption. Tell me about what is the White House doing.
Glenn, it's not just unions. It's every special interest calls their member of Congress and says on each particular piece of legislation, you vote this way. Now remember, let's focus on health care for a second. Mm-hmm. Just 4 months ago, the same people who were yelling at me to vote for the Senate health care bill 4 months ago were yelling at me not to support the Senate health care bill. And then 3 weeks before that, remember the summer of discontent? I did 80 town hall meetings. 80. That's by a factor of 3 more than anyone else. I carried a copy of H.R. 3200 everywhere I went. Overnight, we were told to throw that away. And we were handed, here's H.R. 3296. And a couple weeks later, that got thrown away. And a couple weeks later, it was, well, now we're going to lower the age of Medicare to 55. No, don't do that. Now it's out of control.
Who's responsible?
I think it's the leadership of both parties, because it goes beyond Democrats and Republicans.
Is there arm twisting going on?
Oh, there's going to be so much arm twisting going on the floor of the House of Representatives. You get a better full squad of docs in there to set the broken bones.
You at one point said to me that you were...
And that's not me saying that. That was on the news today.
Oh, you're not... Again, my first question was, is there anything new to your charges?
I mean, people say that I'm making this stuff up, but I'm just telling you what I learned in 14 months in the United States Congress. By the way, a Congress I deeply love. And people said, well, you can't indict the Democratic Party by saying something that's negative. It's my job, if I believe in the principles of the Democratic Party, to say when we're not adhering to them.